So to pull this, you can see I got a bearing splitter on here, and they're not much money nowadays. You can get these things for 20 bucks, 30 bucks. And of course, the quality is not there on these Chinese ones like this, but they serve a purpose. And if you stave it up, you just go get another one, because it's not worth spending the big money for snap-on and all this other stuff if you only use them, you know, twice a year, 3 times a year. That's just my take on it. Other people may disagree, but anyway. Yeah, so I got a little air gap in there, as you can see, so that it's not pulling on the outside. And these are just finger tight. And we'll just go ahead and walk it along, see what happens. Yeah, all these fronts there, they're all 1/2 inch, so. Guess that one was a little rusty. One right out here. Yeah. See if I got them all. Nope, I got one more. That should be all of them. Beautiful. Best thing to do is leave the bolts right in it. Now when I go to put this unit back on, we will go ahead and have all the right bolts. Thought that came right out. There it goes. Just a little bit of oil in the back of it, some grease, but looks in good shape. I know the governor is real smart on this tractor, so I'm not going to frig with it. Yep. None there. That's it right there. Wow. Yeah. Done. Camera turned off on me. But all I did was pick the tin off. I didn't even have to use a screwdriver. And of course, when you take them apart, you can always confirm, but they're always going to be right if it's been running, you know. And of course, I took that gear already off, but whoop, there it is. There is another timing mark over there for it. Anyway, that timing mark there is just specific to getting all your distributor stuff lined up. You know, if it's off a tooth, you're still going to run because you can make it up on the other side, but that's how you're supposed to do it. But anyway, now that we've got that much done, we've got all the hard stuff done. The front pulley actually has a lot of wear where the seal runs. I mean, it's a lot. Like I say, this has never been replaced. So I'm either going to get a speedy sleeve and put over it, or we'll replace it. I'm not really sure which I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to turn it down and put a sleeve on it because there's a lot of press on this, and I think if you turned it down it might end up breaking, but there's a lot of possibilities. We'll see what we do. So yeah, I'm going to get a cold chisel, knock all these locks, pull out all the cotter pins, and we'll continue on. Yeah, I got all the bolts loose. Take your bolts, use them like a pair of pliers, you can pick them right up. Just like the center main, looks perfect. These are marked with a number 1 right there on that side. That goes towards the cam always. And if you really get frigged up, these tabs always go together. So, you know, the tabs are on this side, so it goes in. But if you can't find a number before you disassemble, take a prick punch and just put, like, you know, 1 small mark here, you know, 2 on the middle one, whatever. Just make sure you can keep them straight. Get the rear main off. That one usually comes off a little harder because it's tight on clearance usually. But the thrust looks good. Yeah, looks beautiful. We'll see how those mains look on dimension here in a minute. Should be able to take this crank now and just pick it right out, just like so. There, so that's out of the way. Push that one down just a little bit. I'm going to get a piece of plywood here to set over this, so I'll have a little workbench. Nothing like scraps. Now, put the crank up here. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, it says they wrote on it instead of stamping on it. Says rods 20, mains probably was a 10. Looks like 16029, but you can't, they didn't mark it with who actually did it, so, which is kind of too bad. A little bit of wear on that main, even though it don't show it on the bearings. The rear main doesn't feel any. Just your front. You can actually see it. You can see this little area in the middle there that's a little different shade than the rest. Might be able to see it from that angle better. But yeah, I can feel that. But just because you can feel it don't mean it's any more than a 0.5 thousandths or so. It's just there. Probably can't mic it, but you might be able to. It all depends how fussy you want to be with stuff. Look where that chattered. And that's kind of funny how that made that like that. That looks like they crowded that like a son of a gun when they ground it and made it blue. Or it could just be rust too, I'm not sure. Never seen one really quite that bad. But anyway, let me get the mics. Well, the rods are all the same. They're about 1.5 thousandths under where they should be. The mains, that right there is, let's see exactly what that is. That is 0.5 thousandths, right on the money. So it's in the sweet spot between, you know, where they should have hit and being out of spec. It's right in the middle. So Like I say, I got a little bit of wear up here, but you can feel it, but you can't mic it. Yeah, so that one is actually right at the bottom. Yeah, see this one here, it actually is, it's a thousandth from the high side. This one's a little smaller than the rest, even in the middle where it's... Yeah, that one is 3/4 from the high side. That one's about 3/4. So it's not bad. I could run that. I would definitely have the rods. If I had to pay to have this done, I'd definitely have the rods turned. I probably wouldn't do the mains, but since I can do it myself, I'm going to do it and head a little bit for the high, I'll put it at the high dimension. And that'll gain us basically 3/4 thousandths on all of our mains, and we'll gain about 1.5 thousandths on our rods. That should make a substantial difference in our oil pressure. So, but the rod, that crank doesn't look bad. It really doesn't. As an overall crankshaft, it's good. Might have had a little bit of extra thrust on the rear main. But yeah, you can see, whoever did this last, boy, they crowded that hard when they did that and actually turned it blue. Which that's something you don't very often see. They must have really been trying to get some production done that day. But probably Friday before I actually grind this, I'm gonna wait and order my parts after I grind this. I do know that I'm not gonna do anything to the cylinders. I'm just gonna clean off the little bit of carbon on top, just with some sandpaper. I got one of them out just because I bumped it with a crank and it dropped the ring out. And that right there is about 2,000 hours. And there's no shame on that, There's nothing there that would warrant ever even consider even changing out the rings. And just in case you're curious, rings do travel all the time. They're always rotating. Depending on RPM, they walk around all the time. Otherwise, they'd leave little creases in your cylinder. And they don't. So I'm just going to wash that up real good, relubricate it, stuff it back in the hole. I'm not even going to break the glaze because the same rings are going in the same hole. What's the difference? That's my theory on it. So anyway, yeah, she's looking in good shape actually. Better than what I thought. I got a lot of cleaning on the block. I'm not going to show that. That's just, stupid work. This stuff here, I'll take a razor blade too, peel that all off. And we'll start going together here in about a week, hopefully. I probably won't do any more videos on this particular tractor until I get ready to go back together. Well, I might, when I grind the crank, I'll do a video on that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next one. Oh, and by the way, this is Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you again.